you guys think that the police is actually for the community? I want to bring you guys to an article I came across. That's the Fraternal Order of Police. Now, the Fraternal Order of Police is an organization that's to improve working conditions of the police and the relationships with the so-called community. However, that's the exact opposite. Guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to wipe away any police misconduct after 5 years. The reason they're trying to do that so that when an officer does have a police-involved shooting, they can say, see, wasn't nothing on his record. What they want to do is once an order of misconduct, they want to, okay, we may suspend you, but then take you to the next police station across the hall, across the next neighboring county. I'm going to bring you guys to this story right here.
Discipline for offending officers.
Almost always the finding was in favor of the police officer.
Futterman and Calvin say the records are critical to exposing patterns of misconduct that highlight problem officers. Take Officer James Hunt.
I killed.
Caught on camera saying he kills. CBS 2 investigator Brad Edwards uncovered that 4 years before Hunt's comments went viral, he did kill, shooting 17-year-old Deshaun Pittman 10 times.
You bitch.
A deeper dive into Hunt's past found he had 8 misconduct allegations against him in less than 6 years, and he's still on the street.
That investigation is working its way to me, and I will make a decision.
Did you guys hear that? This officer is still on the streets, on tape saying, I killed mofos. Shot an unarmed black man in the back 10 times in 2014, and he's still a police officer. You know why? Because he says, oh, he pointed a gun at me. And he got away. So now the Fraternal Order of Police, who claims to be for the community, is saying, we want all police records wiped after 5 years. Gee, I wonder why. This is the article right here. You cannot make this stuff up. Misconduct records, they want them wiped. Check this out, look at this. They're saying critical police misconduct records. Critics fear that it would happen to Chicago's police union wins this fight. They are in court right now, and it's at the Supreme Court to where they may win that, and all police records of misconduct, of shooting. There's even a cop in Chicago streets that beat up a suspect, caught on camera, and gave him assault on a police officer felony for the rest of his life. They want your felony to stick forever while theirs is wiped away clean and they get to like it never happened. And 10, 20 misconduct cases and keep their jobs like they're doing.
Interim Police Superintendent Charlie Beck says he has mixed thoughts on whether all misconduct records.
Oh, about the intern superintendent Charlie Beck. Guess who was present at the Rodney King beating? Charlie Beck. That's intern superintendent Charlie Beck. That's him at the Rodney King beating. That's our new superintendent. I want y'all to understand. Why is not even 15% of all the murders, not even 10% of the murders in Chicago solved? I'm going to tell you why. They're not trying to solve them. That's our Fraternal Order of Police. That's our intern superintendent. Even though the superintendent, Eddie Johnson, was for all this madness. But however, you think these police officers are actually trying to solve a murder? Yeah, right. They're protesting the people for protesting them. So they're saying, hey, we're going to step back and let y'all have at it. My thing is this, if you can't solve if you can't even do 10% of your job, then you're fired. Every police officer in Chicago should be instantly terminated.
Records should remain public.
I think that everybody understands that police officers are often subject to unfounded complaints, and do the full details of those need to be revealed? I think that's a different question. Sustained complaints, I don't have such an issue with.
Past courts have repeatedly ruled misconduct records are public records. After Futterman and Calvin won their case,
If you look at our database,
they put all CPD misconduct cases on this website, the Invisible Institute. They say if the FOP wins and gets the previous rulings reversed, basic information will stay on the website, but case details will be destroyed.
All the evidence, the hardcore evidence, here are the statements themselves. The statements of officers, statements of witnesses, the underlying physical evidence, the underlying medical evidence.
That would be destroyed.
That would all be destroyed.
And Futterman says destroying records wouldn't only be bad for victims.
I feel like I was dragged by the devil.
He says it could also make it hard to fire officers like Patrick Kelly, now before the police board facing termination. Kelly also has a history of complaints and cost the city a $44 million jury verdict after being accused of shooting friend Michael Laporta in the head.
This one,
You feel pain there?
yeah, it's a lot of pain.
Record destruction, Futterman says, could also hurt the city.
If they destroy these records, they will be unable to defend itself and in all this litigation, and will be subject to liability that will just blow up the city.
Ultimately, he says it's the community that would suffer most, impacting CPD as it tries to restore broken trust.
People don't trust the police. So this is the very kind of thing that is so critically necessary to our public safety, to solving violence, to getting rid of police abuse in Chicago, to finally addressing patterns and practices of civil rights violations.
I want you guys to understand what you guys see on that's called police misconduct, shooting an unarmed innocent civilians. I want you guys to understand that that is less than 10% of what really goes on. These police officers are planting weapons, planting drugs, assault, beating people, arresting people for felonies. You know how many innocent people that are out there? John Burge, one of the people in this particular case that is under fire, they were trying to wipe his record away. Jason Van Dyken was, the shooting happened in like 2014. They was gonna wipe his record away clean. If there was no charges brought up against him in like 3 years, they get to take the tape and they was gonna throw it in the trash. Activists had to pay thousands. Those lawyers had to go to court for over a year to get that tape released. The day the tape was being released, that's when they fired Jason Van Dyken. No charges after 14 months. 14 months. Speaking of Jason Van Dyken, that's it right there. How many of you guys think that, the police is just, for the people, these hardworking cops that are just for us? If you're so-called for us, why wouldn't you want these cops' record to be public for everyone? Why wouldn't you want to be able to film everyone? Why is it legal to cut their body camera off? Why is it legal for them to lie on a statement? Every cop that was out there for Jason Van Dyken all lied. There's a cop that was caught lying on tape. In fact, this is your man's right here, James Hunt.
Say you trying to shoot? I killed.
Hundreds of thousands of people have now viewed this video of a Chicago police officer boasting about killing on tape. It's a video I exposed as part of a larger CBS 2 investigation. And now we know the punishment he is likely to face, at least a year suspension. Tonight, through the Freedom of Information, CBS 2 investigators access the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, COPA's damning assessment of Officer Hunt's viral and vile actions.
You say you trying to shoot? I killed.
That's Officer James A. Hunt. That went viral.
I killed.
In February, 2 investigators exposed the fact that Officer Hunt had indeed killed before a teenager, Deshaun Pittman, in 2014. Hunt shot him 10 times, was the only officer to shoot after he said Pittman aimed in his direction, a shooting that was deemed justified. Flash forward to July 3rd, 2018.
I killed. You just shot.
Okay, so look at who's investigating the police misconduct. Look at the judges that are involved. Look at the lawyers. Look at the prosecutors. Look at the FOP. Look at the COPA. Look at your interim superintendent. You think any justice is going to come from any of it? How many more unarmed civilians do you think are going to get killed? How many times have we seen this over and over again? City of Chicago has the most corrupted politicians and police force on this planet. It's bananas. Here's a cop saying, I killed, and I seen the look on those police officers. How is it even possible? 98% of the cops patrolling Inglewood, Austin, and all these communities don't even come from that community. That's the cop right there. Wait, hold on, y'all. Hold on. That cop right there. Damn, was that Hunt?
Dignity to every citizen. Recommended penalty, 1 year sentence.
Snapchat.
Oh!
You don't have a Snapchat.
You don't even got a Snapchat, bro.
Yeah, dude, it's called mama.
Antagonize.
Don't try to film me, dude, all right?
Hunt's actions aimed at Kenneth Lee.
You don't even got your name tag.
It's Hunt, 11442.
No.
In COPA's report, Officer Hunt repeatedly made profane and derogatory statements which served to harass and antagonize members of the public. Again, per COPA, the video footage did more harm to break down police public relations than witnessed in a long time. At one point, Officer Hunt said he's taping Lee.
He said, we about to go on Snapchat. I'm like, you don't have a Snapchat.
You don't even got a Snapchat, bro.
Yeah, dude, it's called mama.
He like, yeah, I do. It's called your mom.
It's called I your mom.
Yeah, he's saying that's his Snapchat names. Your mom.
That's fairly offensive.
Yeah.
COPA noted Hunt's abject failure to extend human dignity to every citizen. Recommended penalty, 1 year suspension. Hunt arrested Lee that day. Those charges were kicked. Lee's now suing CPD.
The cop arrested him, a false arrest, gave that man a felony, was trying to ruin him for the rest of his life. This cop is still a cop. Officer James Hunt is still a fucking damn police officer. I remember that. That's the same officer. This officer arrested that man, said he gave that man aggravated assault on a police officer, was trying to get that man 10 years in jail for a false arrest. Had that man not been taping that, had he not had his camera out and taped it, that man would be in jail for 10 years and a felony, his life would be ruined, and they recommended a year? They recommended a year? How many of y'all think it's still no racism? Seriously, if there's anybody, any other African American on this feed, please tell me you don't think there's racism in this country. Please, because somebody tried to tell me that yesterday. Somebody tell me there's no racism in this country. Tell me that right now. Somebody comment. How many of y'all think there's no racism? Somebody speak up. This cop is still a cop.
COPA sustained 12 of the 14 allegations against Officer Hunt, including that he improperly charged Lee with assault. In the mayoral debate, we asked then-candidate Lori Lightfoot about that incident.
CBS 2 investigators exposed white CPD officer James A. Hunt. He went viral, caught on phone camera telling a young black man, quote, I kill MFs.
Miss Lightfoot's response?
I have serious questions for the superintendent why that officer wasn't stripped of his police powers and put in callback, and that disciplinary action charges should have been filed against him in front of the police board. That's what should happen.
That is then candidate Lightfoot in March. So what's CPD have to say? Earlier today, they said they'd yet to get the report. Late this afternoon, CPD tells us superintendent concurs now with COPA's findings.
They concur with 1 year suspension. Here's a man that killed somebody 10 times in the back, shot the man 10 times in the back. How many of you guys could tell your boss or be at work and tell, I kill motherfuckers? How many of y'all could do that at work? How many of y'all could falsely arrest somebody, give them aggravated assault on a police officer? That cop said the man hit him. Reminds y'all something? Sandra Bland? Anybody else? Cop said, oh yeah, he assaulted me. How many of you guys think, how many innocent people are in jail because of that man? 12 reports of misconduct. And that's just the ones people reported. That's just the ones people reported. It was probably way more than that. A lot of people just let it go because they don't have lawyers. They don't have the money, time, and the energy to fight this stuff in court, misconduct cases. They don't have the money, time to fight misconduct cases. And therefore, a lot of times they just let it go. But 12 people went to file misconduct cases. People, if you guys are harassed by especially the CPD, make sure you file a complaint. But COPA and the Fraternal Order of Police, they're trying to wipe these cops' records clean. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why. Let's try to figure this out. How many of y'all still think the cops are for us? Anyone? Anybody think that it's not thousands of people getting arrested and charged with aggravated assault on a police officer for stuff they did not do? That's your new intern superintendent, Charlie Beck. Oh, and guess whose statement was that Rodney King was the aggressor and tried to... Yeah, Charlie Beck. Speaking of lying as a police officer, now see, the police can go and file a false claim and lie and still keep their jobs. How many of you guys can make a false claim, lie through your teeth, get caught lying through your teeth, and keep your job? Rodney King, they would have gave those cops medals. They would have, had it not been for the guy taping it, they would have gave them promotions. But it was caught on tape, so now they had to cover their ass. Let's pretend to be for the people. It's caught on tape, so now we gotta pretend like we care for these people. So let's cover it up. Whoop! Swept under the rug. So now that it's on tape, let's pretend we care. And we're gonna tell these people, see, we love you guys. See, we did something about it. See, we gave cops kept their jobs, but we gonna give them a lawsuit. We gonna give them $5 million. How's that for you? Settle y'all down. This cop still has a job after falsely proven on tape, falsely arrested somebody. Now, why isn't that a criminal charge? Why is this cop sitting in jail? Arrested that man because he threatened that man. He threatened the citizen. The citizen taped it, so he got pissed off and arrested dude for aggravated assault on a police officer. Tried to ruin his life. Some people say, hey, how come y'all keep talking about it? Imagine living it. Imagine living it. Anyway, make sure you guys like my Life in the Shy's YouTube channel. Y'all, peace.